Hi, and good evening. My name is David. I use he, him pronouns, and tonight I am running a game of Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Thirsty Sword Lesbians is a powered by the apocalypse game of queer romance and fantasy action, um, which uh, well at the end of last year now, I guess, was uh, kickstarted very successfully. It is by April Kit Walsh, being published in association with Evil Hat. It will be available at some point this year, I think. I could be incorrect on that front, but yeah, it's a game that's sort of based on various like fantasy action staples. The This particular game we're playing is set in the world of Greek myth, or at least a very loose pop culture version thereof. Um, the This game is being run as part of the Gauntlet, which is an online role playing group. We have a calendar of games people can sign up for. We're like this. We get together, play online. So if you are interested in finding out more about what we do, you can find more at the website, which is gauntlet-rpg.com. I'll put a link to that and to more information about this game as well down below. As well as the sort of gaming calendar, we also have a number of podcasts and a monthly gaming zine called Codex. You can find out information on all of those at the website. Um, yeah, so I think first things first, I will ask our players to introduce themselves and tell us a bit about their character and what they got up to last time. I will go through in character keeper order. Um, yeah, so Gerwin, if you'd like to start us off.
Hello, I'm Gerwin. I use they, them. I also noticed I've got the wrong name on Zoom. I'll sort that out in a moment. And I'm playing Nymphadora, who is the devoted playbook. Nymphadora was a automaton made by Hephaestus for his wife, Aphrodite. Uh, the problem was Nymphadora looked a bit too much like one of the Graces, so Aphrodite, being the jealous sort, uh, sort of rejected her and threw her off Mount Olympus. And but that doesn't matter to Nymphadora. Nymphadora was made for Aphrodite and is sworn to her, lives for her, and has a habit of being smitten by anything even closely associated with her. And basically goes out into the world trying to do her work and bring her prominence more to the mortals and celebrate her glory and those of her children.
Sorry, I was still muted there. Thank you very much. And yeah, Stephen, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you're playing tonight.
Yeah, guess that brings us to me with I'm Stephen, he, him, and I play Berenike, the Seeker, of daughter of Sparta as well as Aphrodite. Uh, I just put on a sort of on-demand performance as my mother. Uh, not the Aphrodite mother, but my Spartan general mother. Uh, and it went very well. It ended, of course, with me outing myself and challenging the person we were trying to fool to a duel, as all disguises end.
Yeah, absolutely, brilliant. Thank you. Well, last but not least, for the moment, we may be getting Joe, hopefully, but we don't have him yet. But yeah, Diana, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you're playing.
As I go by Diana Moon online. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Diana Moon or YouTube at XDianaMoonX. I am a cultural consultant slash editor slash sensitivity reader for both video games and tabletop gaming. Lots of big things coming up that's unfortunately in NDA, so I can't speak of them, but some fun things coming out soon. And I am playing Rhode, who is a trickster who uses she, they. She's technically the face of the troop, despite the fact that she doesn't have the charisma to be the face of the troop. But hey, I can stab things or trick them. Um, I think I was also the only one that was staying as true as possible to our mission, which was to steal some things from during this party. And so last we saw of Rhode was having briefly talked to the mistress and getting the okay to go and steal as long as I bring her, I believe, a golden apple, if I remember correctly. It's been a couple of weeks now. And was on the way to follow the servant to go do so, get the apple, get the clothes, get maybe some other nice shinies. When I believe Berenike was the one that showed up next to me.
I think so. Because I had just run off after struggling with King Telemachus on a convenient chandelier.
Yes, that very really cool move, and that's where we last left Rhode off.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, so I will just very, very briefly refresh on our safety tools before we continue. I won't go into huge detail on this time around because I think we should all be familiar with them. But we have our lines and veils, which are in the Character Keeper. If you do need to refresh your mind on those, because as I said, due to my poor email sending abilities last week, we were not on. But do check out that just to remind yourselves of what we've got as our lines and veils. We will also be using the X card if anything comes up that you're not happy with content wise, whether that be because it's just subject matter you'd rather not deal with, if someone's missed a line or a veil, or if you just think it's totally off or whatever, feel free to X. Either do so by in the chat in doing something with your hands, or just saying it. That will probably be the quickest way to get my attention. We'll also be using script change, which gives us the pause command for taking a quick break and discussing things, and we're just taking a quick break. Rewind for going back over something and changing the way we go with it, or doing it slightly differently. Fast forward for skipping over something, skipping on to the next scene. So those are kind of those tools. We're also playing using the open door policy. So as ever, if you do need to leave at any point for any reason, feel free to do so, whether that be to take a quick break or the door goes and you've got to get it, or if you need to just take the rest of the session off. Any of those is fine. If you can let me know if and or when you're likely to be back, that is useful, but it's not necessary. If you need to leave, you need to leave, and that is fine. So yeah, that is those are our safety tools. As I say, do feel free to make use of those as and when needed. As we discussed in the recap last time, we had the Spartan Admiral Coronis, Berenike's mother, arriving at the island of Ithaca to meet with King Telemachus. There was a whole thing where a play was put on as a distraction for the reincarnated King Leonidas and Admiral Coronis to distract them, whilst Berenike and Rhode tried to do the actual stealing. That came to a conclusion at the end of last time, with King Leonidas defeated and sent back to Hades, and Admiral Coronis being mollified, if somewhat confused, by the whole sequence of events.
That's fair.
I think what I would like to do, bear in mind was this our last session today for this run. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal from liberally from my one of my fallbacks in fellowship, and to kind of cover off the actual robbing of the treasure vault. We'll do what they use for their travel thing, but I quite like it as a procedure just for montaging out scenes essentially. So what I'm going to do in a moment is well, basically I'll give you a bit of setup on what the challenge of the treasure vault is like, and then we'll basically just go around, not necessarily in order, but I'll get one of you to ask a question of another person about how they got around this particular obstacle and so forth. We'll see how that goes and play around a bit just to kind of build up a bit of a an image of what your sort of daring sort of Indiana Jones style tomb raiding looks like. So yeah, I think that what you will find when you reach the underground sort of cavern that you saw the servant going into Rhode, is it's clearly fairly newly constructed, but there is a passageway leading down under the palace itself, which will quickly become apparent is a labyrinth with and we can assume that there are all sorts of traps and devious snares and potentially monsters dwelling in the labyrinth to protect the treasure at its very heart. So in a moment, I'm going to, as I say, I'm going to ask one of you to pose a challenge to one of the other characters. They'll describe a bit about how they overcome that particular threat. They'll then ask another character how they overcome a different threat, and so on and so forth. I think first things first. I say Nymphadora. I'm going to assume at this point that if you wish to be here, or if you wish to show up at some point in the proceedings, that is absolutely fine. We don't need to go into too much detail on how that happens. But I will also ask you if you would like to set the first challenge for one of the other characters to overcome.
Certainly. As you come to a doorway guarded by the statue of an iron statue of a wolf-headed soldier. As you draw closer to it, the soldier begins moving, and its eyes glow with the flames of a fiery furnace. How do you overcome it?
Oh, and sorry, and who are you? Which of are you asking that to? Sorry.
I think I'll ask that to Rhode because I think I know how Berenike would attempt to overcome it, but I'm interested to see how Rhode does.
Let's see here. I'm just double checking my moves since it's been a minute.
Maybe you flirt with it since you're so good at that.
Oh, totally. I mean, it's a wolf head. Why wouldn't I flirt with that?
But yeah. Oh, sorry, and just for clarify, we won't actually sort of go into moves here, particularly. Is that you get to kind of describe overcoming it just as a kind of as a sort of fait accompli sort of thing. So don't worry too much at this moment. I mean, obviously, if you want to use that as guidance for the thing, but feel free to describe overcoming it in any way you like.
Yeah. I think since we were technically falling behind at a good distance from the other servant, and I believe if I remember correctly from the last session, I did like switch up my clothing so I didn't look like a noble anymore. And my whole thing, especially with having Berenike there and their clothing, very, like as a bodyguard kind of thing, and just it's flirting, but not the normal kind of flirting. It's like the authority, like obviously I've come past behind this servant to ensure that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing and not stealing, and ensuring that you are doing your job. Otherwise, step into their space, not afraid at all. There'll be consequences.
Yeah, and I think the statue kind of backs down its metaphorical and possibly literal tail between its legs as it sort of recognizes your force of personality, and steps back and pulls open the big ironclad door it has been guarding, which in fact slides open smoothly without creaking, as if it's been exceptionally well engineered. But yeah, would you like to set a challenge for one of the other characters?
Yeah, let's see. I think it would technically have to be Berenike, so since you have the condition angry at the moment, um, I think the challenge it is more of like, so as we enter, it's one of those like mystical things where like maybe it's a spell, maybe it's like advanced technology that we just don't quite understand, but like we both feel the sensation of something like scanning us almost, and I seem to be fine, but the scan seems to sense your anger that you're having, and this is a place where, even though yeah it's supposed to be all like the treasure and everything, does not want someone with such negative emotions to come in. um so how do you deal with that? Like it's just like you inherently know that if you take any further steps in, either the guard is going to know something, or something else is going to, like a trap, almost an emotional trap.
No one in magic is so judgy. Think. Hmm. Yeah, I think that what what Berenike does is I mean, sure, I think we see her flash back to that duel that she had with Nymphadora back in the first, second session we had. The one where she became smitten with Nymphadora. To push out the anger from her mind, for at least for the moment, as we're getting past this ward.
Awesome, yeah. And I think there's that moment, and there's probably like a kind of humming sound and little flickers of static in the air, but then you feel like that pressure, that watching feeling drain away, as you focus on the more positive emotions, and again a door will slide open, allowing you further entry into the vaults. So I think actually what I will do is, at this point we'll get to the what you find in the vault, and then maybe we can get a challenge for Nymphadora as you are escaping afterwards. So you will come into this. I said this subterranean vault. There's probably like several different chambers. There's like there's one room that's full of silks traded from the Far East. There's another room that has lots of fancily painted and engraved drinking cups and wine amphoras and all of this. All very, very intricately painted. Many of them with incredibly risque scenes on them, obviously. And then you have another room with sort of gold and jewels and other riches. But you will finally come to a room that looks a little less impressive perhaps than some, but the items in here are much fewer, but that you can almost like sense the significance of them, as it were. You will see there is a big like carved column pedestal with what looks like just a Hessian sack on top of it, though that sack is clearly draped over something that could very well be a head. There you will see the golden apple that you sent down here, that Roxane asked you to retrieve Rhode for her. And you will also see there's a small pouch, a small sort of velvet pouch, not big. It looks like a coin purse. You're not entirely sure what's in it. And there's also a powerful, a big, sturdy-looking horn recurve bow that is hung in a very prominent place on the wall.
For some odd reason, I thought there would be more. And I think, like, after stating that, sorry. I like take like a walk around the perimeter, like even though you just explained everything, still just double checking to make sure, especially after having that sensation of like the ward and everything. It's like make sure there's no other traps before I kind of want to do an Indiana Jones thing.
Yeah.
Because you just put it right there.
Exactly.
I want to swap the apple for that pouch.
Sure thing. Yeah, that sounds good. So actually, I will say, if you would like to defy disaster here, I think this is probably swiftness or elegance with grace, I would say, or maybe cleverness or knowledge with wit. They both sound about right for this.
Okay. Either one gives me +2, so I'll go with grace.
Yep, sure thing.
So I'll be an 8.
An 8. Okay. Yeah. So you, as you kind of feel, I think I'm going to make this one, possibly fairly easy for you. You will feel in the pouch, there's definitely stuff in there, quite heavy, not coins. It's some, but it's that it kind of clacks together. There's definitely something, stones, gems, maybe something of that nature in there. And it's got quite a lot of heft to it. It's quite heavy. You carefully slide it into place, and you can indeed feel just underneath this it's in sort of a carved, it almost looks like a big candle stand, but it's like carved to fit this golden apple inside of it. And you can feel clearly there is a catch of some sort in there, and lifting the apple out will absolutely set off some sort of death trap of some variety. Actually, no, in fact, I'll make that the choice, because that's already what you're doing. You can feel, you definitely can get this pouch to remain in place, and that will hold the trap. It won't. It will stop it from going off, and that will be fine. But obviously, you will have to leave that pouch there. Or obviously, you can try and run with both, but the trap will go off at that point, and you'll have to escape it.
I think like for like a long hard second, I'm like debating like I could try to run off with both. I mean, Berenike is here to help with any traps.
Exactly.
But I think like it, at least from my perspective, everything's been going so smoothly, because I don't know what Berenike did in the other room. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the pouch there.
Sure thing.
Is there anything that catches your eye, Berenike?
Is that something you're asking me, like, in character?
Yeah.
Oh. I
So
think you
often we
meant.
get an
I
opportunity
think you mentioned
like
a
this.
bow and a bow, right, David?
Yeah, that's right. The other things in this particular room you're in, there's a big bow mounted on a sort of like a big plaque on the wall. And yeah, there is also what looks like, as I said, looks very suspiciously like a decapitated head wrapped in a Hessian sack on a
right,
column.
right. Oh, well. I hope you do not think less of me for this, Road, but I must get that head.
I raise an eyebrow, like, okay. A little confused for a moment and just nod. I mean, if that is your fancy.
Well, I feel that Nymphadora and I were bound by a promise. I feel like even she thinks that's a little bit of a stretch, because I'm not quite certain why we decided to help this random snake lady that wandered in out of the woods. But
You were charmed.
yes. It does not belong to the king.
I doubt most of these belong to the king.
Well, then you're suggesting we take all of it.
Except for that. And I point at the pouch. I have a feeling we might be, what's the word I'm looking for? Inviting more trouble if we do.
Oh, 50% of me wants to have Berenike pick it up and say what's in it. Because you can't just say, like, it's trapped.
Right. I think I do get distracted, like, by looking at some of, like, the lesser, not lesser known, but, like, obviously treasure kind of here, and just, like, pocket a few
Yeah,
things.
I guess I will. After picking up the head, I do say, why? What is in this bag? And I pick it up and open it up.
And I go, wait, no.
Yeah, and that's the point where there will be the sound of grinding cogs, and there'll be some like gouts of flame will burst out of the wall. Scything blades will start swinging around. None of them actually seem to be like quite exactly where you are at the moment, but maybe some like some darts will shoot out. Will in fact, actually, yeah, I will have you roll Berenike to avoid the initial assault by this trap. But yeah, it will set up a proper chain reaction regardless. But yeah, let's again, I'm just going to say probably swiftness and elegance, maybe might, endurance or courage, depending on how you go about it. But yeah, I think you sorry, what I should have said before, but it was fairly obvious in that one. What are you, Berenike, what are you willing to sacrifice to avoid? So yeah, the danger that is coming is that there's like going to be poison darts shooting out at you, various other implements of an unpleasant demise. But yeah, what are you willing to sacrifice to get you or yourself? You and we'll say Rhode out of the immediate threat of this trap.
I think that, I mean, probably Berenike is willing to sacrifice herself. Like, I think I probably grab Rhode and like fling her and like basically tackle her to the ground to get her out of the way of the poison arrow trap.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, no worries. So
I have to ask: is there that moment where you throw each other to the ground and you're one on top of the other, and the eyes lock? And
Of course it is.
Awesome. So
we'll have to see how the roll goes before we decide if that's what happens.
But yeah, if you would like to make that roll, I'd say actually probably daring is the appropriate one for this, because this is more about you saving someone else. So I think that definitely feels like courage.
Okay, cool. Let's see here. Are we obviously ideal owl?
Oh, no, we are. Sorry, I
oops.
will copy. I've got it here. I'll just be 1 second. We are this one. Dad roll dice with friends one. So
sorry, I had it for some reason. I just had it open as a tab. I don't know why.
Yeah, no,
cool. All right. Okay, and that is a 12.
A 12, perfect. So, yeah, you you do it with style. At the GM's discretion, you may also learn new information, discover a new opportunity, or gain a string on someone. I'm going to.
Here's the thing.
So I think rather than like pushing you to the ground, I actually like bring my sword up to cut the poison arrows out of my spear up to like clash the poison arrows out while sweeping you up in like one of those ballroom dance like dips.
Right. Oh, even better. Okay, so here's the thing. I become smitten because of that move, and I also get my feelings at 4 because of it. So, you have a string on me.
Cool. I'm also taking a string on you, so I get 2.
Nice. So when I become smitten, I answer this question: what secret do you have that you think would make them reject you if they knew? I think it has to do. It's obvious that you dislike your mother, right? Like, to everybody that like.
I have a complicated relationship with her, I think is the answer there.
I think my secret is before coming to this troop, I had a mission where I had to seduce your mother.
You see, I don't really even have to dislike my mother for that to be a really awkward
Right.
thing.
Well, true, but like, so
Yeah. No, I hear you.
So that's the secret I think that you would reject if you knew. And then what else? So now that I hit 4, tear off the mask and scream what you've been holding in. Do what you've been afraid to do and damn the consequences. I think, yeah, I think what I do is I kiss you. Damning the consequences, even though that might make you just more pissed off. Like, how dare?
Oh yeah, I think there's like a moment where like we see in the audience that Berenike kisses you back, but then she kind of awkwardly like lets out the arm under you and lets you unceremoniously like dumps you on the floor.
Exactly.
Can I just point out there's actually a move for this?
There is, isn't there? There is.
Finally kiss in a dangerous situation.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, bear with me a moment. Yes, when people finally kiss after a period of tension. I mean, you know, that's fair enough. But each takes +1 ongoing to get to safety and protect the other for the rest of the scene. So yeah,
Yay,
nice.
+1.
I mean, I still do all that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rhode, but I can't permit myself those things. You must realize such intimacy is for the wedding night. Because that is one of my commandments: no intimacy until marriage.
And yeah, Ro looks up to you, like confused for a second, and just like, oh yes, no, I understand. And I get up.
And yeah, that it's probably sort of at that moment where you sort of get back up to your feet and a big like scything blade passes just like inches above your head and back into the wall. And yeah, it's clear, you know, that some sort of like you know, the sort of the Armageddon traps have been set off in here, and it's probably now time to make a quick exit.
Oh yeah, and I will become smitten with you though as well.
Oh yes, and your question.
So you get a string on me first off as well, Rhode. And I answer the question: which of my values do you openly violate or decry? I think it's really like that like you are willing to like stab people in the back and seduce people's parents, you know, in order to steal from them.
Valid.
Awesome, yeah. And I think this is where I will turn things back over to Nymphadora. I'll say, you know, at this point you will have.
Can I interject slightly here?
Yeah.
I have an idea. I think Nymphadora has been rushing to try and get to these guys. I think Nymphadora was literally just about to come in when that kiss happened, and I see it. And the face is mechanical, so it doesn't move in the normal way, but it's definitely not moving in the normal way now.
Oh, are you gonna stagger?
I think I'm gonna stagger at that point. Yes.
Yeah, awesome. So
I'm going to point out though, I don't hear what's said. I just see the kiss, and I basically back out before the whole.
yeah, as we kind of get the shot from your perspective, we can just hear the sort of grinding and, like, yeah, I said, sudden bursts of flame shooting out of the wall that are obscuring all sound coming out.
The budget for this episode is phenomenal.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing what a bit of pyro can do. Okay, so I've got 2 conditions at the moment. The options I have for 0 to 3 is you lash out at someone whose regard matters to you, or you hesitate and stumble and the opposition gains an opportunity, or you grin and bear the blow. And mark 2 conditions. I think I'm going to take the 2 conditions at this point,
Ooh.
putting me up to 4.
Nice.
So I think that's made me feel hopeless and insecure.
That sounds fair.
You are you in there? And I think Nymphadora comes through the door at that point. And do you have it? We have to be quick.
Yes, I have the apple. Not realizing you've seen.
And I have got your head, Nymphadora, or a head. The head that you desire.
I think there's that moment where this mechanical creature sighs. Then let us be quick, and we have to leave here. The alarms have sounded in the castle. The guard is being roused.
I nod and as I'm rushing towards you towards the exit, I give you like a very happy like pat on the shoulders, like, just gotta deliver this apple, get our dress, and meet you both at the back gates.
Apple? Which apple are you to deliver?
And I show it off like real quick.
And Nymphadora visibly steps back. You wish that in the world?
I don't wish it, but it's what the mistress wishes, and that she'll give us the dress freely, so.
But that is Eris's apple. You cannot loose that on the world. That is the apple that tumbled Troy.
I stare at it. So you're saying we should keep it?
Yeah, Rhode, you will notice when you look at it, it just has a little inscription on the side that says "To the most beautiful."
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. I feel like Rhode does not know this story. Does not know the meaning of it, and it's like, and just kind of just like goes, and still just goes. So should we keep this instead? If it topples Troy, it could topple ships.
It is an instrument of Eris. It is an instrument of discord. I sense discord in this room. And there's a distinct moment where her eyes go between Berenike and Rhode. Do what you will. Do what you will with it. It is not part of the bargain that I have struck with the Gorgon.
Technically, with you saying that, would that mean they're technically agreeing to my playbook move of devious scheme?
What does that do? Let's have a look.
When others go along with your cunning plan, roll plus wit.
Yeah, I think so. In fact, yes, definitely. There's no think about it.
Okay. So let me do that. So that way David can't throw more shenanigans at us. Yeah. All right. 9, and then it's plus wit, which is 2, so 10, 11. So I get to choose 2. Item reveals a secret love or vulnerability. Item creates an opportunity. Oh, no, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. Produce just the right object, describe an unexpected weakness in an obstacle, or appear right behind someone at a crucial moment.
Okay, I think it's more a planned move. So you lay out a scheme and then.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
I think it'd be justification for you to actually us to sneak you through the castle and get back to the mistress. You could
yeah,
appear right behind her with it.
yeah, I think, yeah, I like that. So just so we can at least avoid for the moment some obstacles. Um, yeah, I would be like, well, if you're okay with it, then I'm just help me get through since you're saying the alarms are going off to get to the mistress without anybody else finding out. Hand it to her and we'll have the dress and be on our way. I think Berenike created enough distraction earlier, right?
Indeed, and with the beacons being lit, the castle is in turmoil.
How obvious, like, I know you like had like moved back a bit, but how obvious are you in your like distress right now?
I'm trying to stay away from it, but there's almost a longing in her eyes.
So maybe I feel like I want to figure you out.
Okay, by all means, roll.
That's a 7.
Okay, so on figure out, you get to ask 2 of the questions. I get to ask you one in return.
Okay, let's see here. Do, 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 do. What do you hope to get from the end of our particular mission?
Medusa was killed by Perseus, and she was not given funerary rites. She was a monster, but she was made that way. I want to lay her to rest and allow her to pass over the Styx into Hades.
What do you love the most?
As much as Nymphadora is obsessing on Berenike at the moment, it's a lot of it's down to who Berenike is and who her mother is. She loves Aphrodite.
Okay, what's your question for me?
How would you feel if I stole that apple back from the mistress after you give it to her?
Oh, that's a good one. I think it'd be mainly confusion. Um, uh, yeah, I think it would just really be not necessarily betrayal or anything like that, but just like confusion and then a little bit of suspicion from that point forward about like what are your actual motivations.
Well, I did say the apple would bring discord.
What else is new in the world though? But yeah. And I think after that's like I just give you a kind of look, and then in theory, if no one objects, go on with the plan of trading an apple for a dress.
By all means. Do you want to frame that scene, or?
Yeah, I think actually if we take our first break now, as we've been going for about an hour now, but yeah, that we can come back at 1:45, and we'll pick up from there.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So I think as you make your escape from the labyrinth, as I said, the island seems to be in a state of alert. There's torches have been lit. There's guards patrolling around, but as you make your exit, Roxane will actually be waiting in the garden, and she will sort of beckon you over to kind of a more secluded arbor in the garden. She'll say, "Well, you do appear to have created quite a racket.
Well, we're actors after all. We have to be a little dramatic.
Well, quite so, quite so. Do you have something for me there?" And she will grin.
Do you have what I asked for?
Of course. And yeah, she will. You'll notice she's wearing a very similar dress to the one she was wearing before, but it's not quite the same. And she will hand over the dress she was wearing previously.
I'm just double checking my mood to see if I can do something fancy or not. Okay. I look at it and I hand out the apple, but it's still like firmly like grasp, like I'm holding it firm in my hand. As I kind of like slowly offer it to her.
And she will take it from you gratefully as she hands over the dress.
Okay. I keep forgetting I don't have that move yet. I'm like, darn it, in this situation right now. I take the dress, and then I think, I want to figure her out again, and just make sure.
Sure thing.
Especially now with the information Nymphadora gave about this golden apple,
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So if you would like to roll with wit.
So I'll be an 8.
8, cool. So they can ask you. Oh, sorry, you can ask 2 questions, but they can also ask one of you.
Yeah. What do you hope to get from this apple?
She wants to gain the attention of the gods. If they realize that she has this, it will call their attention upon her. And that is something apparently that she wants in this situation. She wants to basically deal with the gods, as it were.
Right. How can I get you to not backstab us?
Basically, if you keep quiet about what she's up to, she'll keep quiet about you. She has she has no particular deep affection for Telemachus. She likes him well enough. It's not you don't think it's a purely mercenary relationship, but it's not much more than that. So she doesn't really have any inherent interest in selling you out, unless it's you or her, basically.
Okay. What's your question to me?
Yeah, I think that she is going to ask. She's going to. I'm trying to think if there's anything she wants from me. No, I think she's. She is going to go for. What do you love most?
Ooh. That's a good question. What do I? I love most being able to be myself.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. And I think with that, she will say, well, you probably should get a move on. It won't take long for them to find you here. I think your friends are round on the western tip of the island at this point. You should be able to board your ship there. I suggest you don't hang around too long.
Just one more thing. Rhode.
Yes, dear?
Rhode, have you conducted your business here?
Yes, I think. And I smile at her and it's like, I think we're done here.
Excellent. Then, that apple does not belong to you.
Oh, I thought you were going to do this not immediately.
And I'll draw my sword at that point.
Nymphadora, what are you doing?
That apple does not belong to her. You saw the description. You saw the inscription upon it. There is only one creature.
Thermophilus and his fathers are the most beautiful of all?
No. I think there's only one that apple should have gone to in the first place.
Oh, bloody hell, not all this again.
And I'm going to step forward and... Does she have any weapons on her?
Not visibly, certainly.
Then I'm going to sheath my sword and I'm going to punch her.
I'm trying to think what I can do here.
Do you have any strings on Nymphadora?
I think I do.
Yeah, so yeah, you could obviously you can obviously you can influence with a string to basically to try and persuade them to do something. If we actually come down to like rolling stuff, you can also do that to do so.
Yeah, I feel like I won't be able to convince them with a string, so I'll probably want to use the string to help my roll. So I think I'm just seeing here. Probably just this will be just a basic roll. I want to defy disaster.
Yeah,
by
that I was going to say
blocking.
that's probably probably the fairest thing. And what are you willing to sacrifice?
Let's see here. Can I sacrifice a string? Not to Nymphadora, but like another string.
Yeah, I think that sounds fair.
Okay.
So yeah, if you would like to roll, this is again, I'd say probably daring, maybe grace actually, for just the speed. But yeah, one of those two, I think definitely.
We'll go with grace. Yeah, so that would be a +2. So that'll be a 10.
A 10. Okay, yeah. So you will be able to intercept the blow. So how does that look? I guess is this a kind of grabbing Nymphadora's wrist, or
Since I'm willing to sacrifice the string I want to sacrifice, even though I'm helping her or attempting to help her, is to sacrifice my string on Roxanne.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay. You don't lose it because you rolled a 10 plus. So,
okay.
So that's
okay.
fine.
Yeah, that's right. I think since I used grace, I think what I do is I kind of emulate what Berenike did, and just like pull Roxanne like to me and like twirl her around and away from the flying fist.
Cool. Yeah, and you can definitely gain a string on Roxane for that. And I'm going to ask Berenike, how do you react to all of this?
Oh man. I think where is the golden apple right now?
Sorry, Roxane is still holding it at the moment.
Cool.
They've possibly they've possibly fumbled their grip on it a little bit as they've just been unexpectedly dipped, but yeah, they still have possession of it.
I'm going to I'm going to grab the golden apple because apparently it is fulfilling its destiny. Can I, or do I need a roll for that?
I think at the moment you can probably get away with that. Yeah.
Cease this at once. As Nymphadora said, it should go to the most beautiful among us, and there is only one here I see who is worthy of such a title, and I kneel before Nymphadora. Nymphadora, the apple is rightfully yours as the one of unsurpassing beauty. And I am trying to hit my proper courtship when you're smitten with someone and perform an elaborate and roundabout courtship ritual.
That sounds absolutely fair.
How does Nymphadora respond?
Oh, you've put me in a bloody position now. Nymphadora is shocked. There's her face, her eyes go up, her eyebrows go up. I cannot take. I cannot take. And she's almost reaching for the apple, and I think she takes the apple, looks at it, and throws it in the air. And as it comes down, she cuts it in half with her coppice. I can't take it.
Cool.
I'm not beautiful.
Cool. So if they don't understand that you're smitten, which I'm taking it here is not understanding.
Yes.
Yeah. Rhode, you totally understand that this is Berenike's roundabout way of courting Nymphadora.
Yeah.
So you
That's
get
why
a string
Rhode
on
is-
me.
That's why Rhode is kind of in shock and not responding to this.
How could you offer that to me? I can't take it. It's hers. And there's a little slither of oil forming at the corner of Nymphadora's eye, and starts to roll slowly down her cheek. It was hers. It was always hers.
We've already forgotten about what's your face. I think I
How could you?
take you.
How could you? Sorry, go on, Stephen. I didn't mean to interrupt your flow. I was just.
I grab like either an arm and a hand on either side of like this, and I say, Nymphadora, you are more than your service to the gods. You are more to me, and I am breaking a commandment, I think, because I always obey the gods. And I'm changing that into the conviction that each of us must pursue our own destiny. Yeah. And I actually actually, yeah, I am going to I think that what I am doing here is am I doing that, or I think I'm offering emotional support. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
And I'm gonna spend a string because I have a ton. So I'm rolling +2 total because my heart's terrible. And that's a 5.
Okay, so I think as that as you're sort of stood there, the apple has been cut in half, and it's sort of at this moment in that sort of slow motion where the two halves have finally hit the floor and spun around a bit. Roxane looks shocked and aghast at the way the scene has developed, and there is a sudden rumbling from deep within the earth, and a crack appears right down the middle of the patio, and acrid smelling smoke rises from it. There is a burst of heat washes over you, and a figure emerges from the smoke. They are walking with a limp. They have a big beard, and they let out in a deep voice, "Oh, bloody hell, not that fucking apple again." As Vulcan, sorry, Hephaestus, I should say, in this current iteration, steps forward and says, turns to, looks between Nymphadora and Berenike and says, and then turns back to Nymphadora and says, "You girl, what the hell are you doing messing about out here with this bunch of people? And you do not be saying anything like that to her again. I will not be having you comparing her attractiveness or other traits with anyone. I really mean that. You have no idea the sort of trouble you'll get me in."
I am insulted. He is saying that Nymphadora is not the most beautiful thing in existence. Clearly, this is an insult, and I draw my spear. I will have no one insult Nymphadora's beauty.
Berenike, please, no. Do you know who that is? That is my father.
Your father is a foul-smelling troll? It is pleasing that you do not take after him in that case.
And I think he'll kind of swing the hammer he's got over his shoulder and say, "Foul smelling I may be, lass, but I'll tan your hide from here to Carthage if you give me any more lip." And he'll turn back to Nymphadora and say, "Come on, lass, I can take you back home, and we'll put all this nonsense behind you."
You're muted.
He almost goes to step forward towards him and then stops. I can't. I can't. I was cast out. She didn't want me. She didn't want me.
Well,
They do. I'll turn to look at Berenike and Rhode. No, I'm not going with you.
And what if I insist?
I heft my spear. You shall not take her. Nymphadora's decisions are her own to make. And I'm also erasing my commandment, never fight a weaker person's battles. And I'm writing in, defend the ones you love with your dying breath.
Nice.
I told you that apple would be trouble last game.
And I think with that, Hephaestus will turn to you, Berenike, and say, "Well, come on then, lass. Let's have at it. This is
I want to steal something from him.
absolutely."
Oh, I don't have. I still want to do it, even though I don't have the special move. What would that?
So I'm just trying to remind myself of.
If I had the move, then I'd be able to roll plus grace. But I think since I don't have the move, but I still want to try to steal from him.
Yeah, sure thing.
I could roll plus daring, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry. What? Sorry, I'm lost. Which move were you going for?
It would probably be like to defy danger.
Yeah. That's
So,
what I thought. Yeah. So sorry, I was just Sorry, I thought I wasn't sure if there was a specific one that you had in mind. Yeah. No, that's cool. So yeah, if you would like to. So yeah, what are you trying to steal from him?
what's he holding right now? Is he holding his hammer?
Yes, that's right. He's got a hammer in his hand. So it's a sort of blacksmith's hammer, but
Yeah. But
looks nasty.
And presumably he's wearing a blacksmith's apron.
Yeah, he's got an apron with
So
various tools in it.
Steal whatever. My intention is to steal whatever is important that he has on him in either in those apron pockets.
Yeah, I think.
Because he's distracted.
Yeah, exactly. I think you will see that in his there is a he, like I said, he has various like tools and bits and pieces in there, but as well in one of the pouches on the apron there is a fairly hard wearing looking and thick and bulky as well, like scroll rolled up and stuffed into one of the pouches.
Nice.
It clearly is got the look of like blueprints to it essentially.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna roll plus daring, so that's a 10.
10, perfect. So you do it with style. Yeah, so I think that makes sense that you will you will be able to sneak the blueprints out of his apron without him noticing. And I think as you're doing so, well, I'll actually give you as well. You also just like tucked down into the very bottom of that pocket of his apron, there's also just a small silver locket that you're able to filch as well.
Ew. Yeah, I pocket the locket to look at later, and I like clear my throat very loudly and just wave the blueprints. You just like leaving anything around anywhere. You left poor Nymphadora around, and now you've left this? You should take better care of what's yours.
And he'll sort of so you give that back right now. Honestly, mortals, I don't know why I put up with you. He is yeah, and I think he is going to turn his back on Berenike and is going to try and like lunge at just try and like grab Rhode, but Berenike, if there is something you would like to do in response, you may do so.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do a full-on pole vault jump onto his back with my spear.
Cool. So yeah, that is going to be a the it's just called fight, isn't it? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Cool. Tripped over by the simplicity of the naming it's, in this game. So yeah, when you seek to incapacitate someone with violence, roll with daring or grace.
Cool, and I'm rolling with daring. And if someone that gives me a 9. If someone wants to spend a string on me, they can bump it up to a 10.
I'm happy to do so.
Cool. What do you do to help? Is this like not really a pole vault, but instead it's like one of those like Nymphadora goes down with the handhold jump, and then like flings me up as I do the super high anime jump?
Oh, definitely, definitely. It's as close to fastball special as you can get in
Cool.
ancient Greece.
Yeah, let's see. So on a 10 plus, I choose 3, and your opponent will choose 1 to apply to you. I'm going to inflict a condition, create an opportunity for an ally, presumably Rhode here, since presumably she's in danger. And I'm seizing a superior position of his back. I also, because I have the move impressive swordplay, whenever I roll a 7+ to fight, I may gain a string on someone who's present. I gain a string on Hephaestus. What about me impresses or intrigues him?
I think fairly simply, just the fact that you are willing to fight a god is
Would you like me to give you a juicier thing that he can intrigue him?
Yeah, go for it.
He notices my similarity to Aphrodite.
Yeah, that's cool. Actually, yes, that I like that. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool. I like that. Yeah, and I think he'll kind of swing around as you're on his back and say, "What the bloody hell are you playing at, lass? This is disgraceful behavior from." And then you'll get that moment where he kind of looks up and actually looks you in the eyes and says, "Wait a minute, don't tell me that you're another one." And there's just that moment of like hesitation in his eyes, and I think he is going to, in return, I think I think that he yeah, no, in fact, I think that's what it will be. I think as he stares, like looking at you, he's going to and it's like kind of unexpected, which is how he manages to do it. That that's good without you sort of being able to properly stop him. Is that he sort of reaches up and pulls off your helmet to kind of get a better look at you, and pulls the helmet off and probably just tosses it aside. As yes, I've chosen to take something from you. Oh yeah, as to the question of unmarking conditions at the end of the scene, I would assume so. I haven't double checked on that, but I think that is the case. I'll just have a quick look now, because it's actually an indexed.
Can I figure him out, because I definitely feel like this is something that
Yeah,
is a mystery to Berenike.
yeah, absolutely.
I'll spend my string on him because I am otherwise going to be rolling at a -1.
Sure thing. And yes, sorry, that is correct. So yeah, if you take the destructive action to clear a
No, but it has to
condition,
be someone I care about.
yeah. Oh yeah, no. So I just meant so in response to the question you asked, that yeah, if you do take the destructive action on one of your conditions, yeah, it clears at the end of the scene, so you can't kind of clear it and regain it in the same scene. But yeah, no, that's cool.
Cool. So that's an 8.
8. So yeah, he gets well, you get 2 questions on him, and then he gets to ask one of you in return. Obviously, you are currently in combat, so you may ask one of your special ones as well if you wish. Or
oh yeah,
two of your special ones if you wish.
What I want to ask? Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I guess the question here is, given what he just said, what are your feelings towards me?
Yeah, conflicted at the moment. Yeah, as I said, there's definitely like I mentioned before, there's definitely a certain amount of admiration, because he's ultimately to a certain extent he appreciates a bit of backbone in mortals. He's also, though, you definitely get that, yeah, he is shocked by who you are, or who he thinks you are, and that it puts him in a difficult position, because a complex position, I suppose to say, because both you can definitely feel a bit of anger there at the implications of that, but there's also a reluctance to hurt you for similar reason.
Cool. And how could I get you to release your claim on Nymphadora?
That's a good question. I think if you do kind of if you do best him in combat here, he will absolutely recognize that claim, as it were, or release that claim, I should say. Sorry. Yeah, I think kind of that, or either basically that, or a very like an obvious act of not defiance, but of like self what's the word I'm looking for? Self, like independence from the part of Nymphadora as well. But yeah, definitely by beating him in combat, he will respect that.
Cool. Yeah, and if we want to switch over to what Nymphadora or oh yeah, you also have a return question that you can ask.
Yes, and I think that he is going to ask. He's going to ask. He's actually going to ask, what are your feelings towards Aphrodite?
Oh. I think he probably name drops Aphrodite in combat, and probably Berenike like shouts back that my relationship to her is as with all the gods, distant and removed. Because I don't know Aphrodite's my mother.
Yeah, awesome. And I think in response to that, he'll say, "Not so distant at the minute. I wouldn't say, lass." As he kind of swings sort of the blacksmith's hammer in like a circle around his head, trying to knock you off. And I think even at the rest of the time, you're a little closer than you think. But yeah, Nymphadora, how are you reacting to this whole thing?
I'm kind of shocked. I know I'm saying that an awful lot tonight, but that seems to be the recurring theme. Nymphadora looks at the blade in her hand, crafted by Hephaestus. Then she looks at her hand, also crafted by Hephaestus. She then looks to the apple, and I think she'll bend down and pick up both halves of the apple. And then we'll, I think there's going to be that time where Hephaestus actually comes in to take a swing at Berenike, and Nymphadora actually comes in and actually parries the blow. Did you mean what you said? And I think this is to Berenike, but I think we're having this conversation as the fight is going on. So as we're ducking and dodging and parrying blows and...
Who do you take me for, Rhode? I do not dissemble.
And there'll be a brief moment of wiping away that tear. Father, stop this. Stop this. You're better than this.
What, you think I should take a lip from this chit of a girl? Doesn't even recognize the very gods themselves. No, lass. This will all be over soon.
Please, don't do this. It's not me you want, is it? It's never been me. You made me to give me away.
I made you to as a gift to my wife, and you, of all people, should know what that means.
I know what it means. I think there'll be that moment where he goes to swing at the hammer, and I stop, I kneel, and I hold up the apple. This is a greater gift than I ever was, and I'll offer him the apple.
He will
Can I? Does this work? I want to use my IC3 move since I'm technically not in the physical combat, but this is during a physical combat. Can I use when you figure out?
You've definitely become involved in this. You know, you stole something from him. He was coming for you. That's absolutely fair. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna use figure out once I figure out what tab I'm supposed to be in for my roll. Not that one. I have like 5 windows open. There we go. So with the 2, it's a 10. So I want to specifically ask. Yeah, I'll do this one first. What are you most afraid of now, Hephaestus?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think that he is. I think that he is afraid that and I suppose it's less of an immediate thing, but I think that he is afraid that Aphrodite's rejection of Nymphadora sort of reflects on her feelings towards him, essentially.
Perfect.
Yeah.
My second question is, who do you want me to be?
Ooh. Ooh, that's a tricky one. I think I think that he wants you to I think he wants you to be the voice of reason, essentially, and persuade Nymphadora to go back with him.
Okay. So now I want to do my mask move. And what I'm going to... Because I've already mentioned, like, hey, I've been with Aphrodite before, so I know how Aphrodite acts.
Yeah.
I'm going to pretend I'm becoming an avatar, temporarily vessel for Aphrodite, and I start moving towards him just as Aphrodite would. Darling, stop this now. If you want to know how I feel about your gifts, you should come and ask me.
Awesome. So yeah, if you would like to make me a roll with
Oh no! I rolled a 5. Crap. My first really terrible roll of the session. Can I do anything about it?
Can you spend more than one string on a person?
So one person can only spend one string to aid another person, but multiple people can spend a string to aid. So yeah, like Berenike could only spend one string to aid Rhode, but Berenike and Nymphadora could each spend one string.
Unfortunately, Nymphadora has one string on catch total.
You see that bit at the start where I was giving strings out to everyone?
Yeah. Let me. Because Nymphadora can do it, and then wait, do you say?
Oh, but you No, sorry, I forgot because it was sorry, it was Berenike who got the string on Hephaestus. So yeah, not his. So no, sorry. I just had a sudden thought, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm double checking here to see if there's anything
No worries.
to get that extra +1.
Oh, what I will let you do actually. If you would like, because I think this you can if you want roll to call on a toxic power, because as you begin to kind of affect this, the attitude of Aphrodite, you can feel a kind of warm pulse emanating from the locket that you stole.
All right. That's plus spirit, so that's a 0. At least it's better than a negative.
So this is technically would have gone first, but I'm happy to do a little bit of wiggle around on that.
Unfortunately, I got a 6 because I don't have a positive on that.
No worries. But and by no worries, I mean many worries.
Many worries.
Because
I think probably if you want, because I do have like 3 strings on you, so I can
Right.
spend a string there.
Okay.
I think probably like for some reason you're able to draw power from Berenike, almost like she's connected to Aphrodite somehow.
So it would be a string for this, which would give me the +1, and then the string for the persuade, which would give me the additional +1 I would need. To just barely.
Yes.
So
yeah.
And I'll take the consequences of that after the fact.
Yep.
So
no worries.
with a 7 and 9, I get to choose one, and I'm going to choose the lie you've chosen is unexpectedly perfect, creating a new opportunity.
Yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, and I think the so the cost for calling on a toxic power is that I think that I'm going to ask you to mark a condition. If you are okay with it, I think I would like you to mark insecure for this one.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking.
Yep.
Also, you're channeling Aphrodite. I'm smitten.
And
we'll do that after the result of the move.
Yeah, no worries. Cool. So, yeah. So I think Hephaestus kind of looks at you and blinks for a moment, Rhode, and says, Is that you, love? You look different. And I think the kind of the hammer goes a little slack in his hand at this point, as he's kind of staring at Aphrodite / Rhode in a sort of like slightly poleaxe look, with presumably Berenike still on his back.
Well, I always want to try something new and different with you. You don't like?
You would look beautiful no matter which form you took on, my love. Of course.
And I take a couple more steps forward towards him. And I think I was swiftly just so he doesn't remember, put away the blueprints. And I pull out. I don't show it yet, but I pull out the locket. So it's in my hand, so he knows that I pulled out something. I don't know why you would think you would doubt any of the gifts you've given me. I mean, sometimes they're as pretty and shiny and emulating Aphrodite, who wouldn't necessarily name Nymphadora, but just kind of look and just give that bit to really sell it. It's like not as pretty as me, but good enough kind of look. As complicated as that, or as simple as, well, this is quite fetching, and then I show the locket.
Of course, my love, of course. Do you truly mean it? Do you truly care for Nymphadora? I made her especially for you, and
Now, honestly, darling, what good is any beautiful item just gathering dust on a shelf in my collection? You surely did not make Nymphadora just to preen and stock still like some of these. And I'll point towards the mistress, who's probably just been gaping, like, what the fuck is going on around here? Like, mere mortals. I wanted Nymphadora to explore, to see just how well you made her. I mean, you wouldn't ever give me something that would break so easily amongst these mortals, would you? That would be an insult.
oh no, of course I can assure you, I used only the finest of materials in her construction.
So she'll only be made better after she's had her travels. And it proves that your love to me is as enduring as she is.
Like tempering her in the fire, I suppose you could say.
Exactly.
Very well. Perhaps I've been too controlling, uh, girl. If you truly wish to travel around with these, whoever they are, then I suppose I'll give you my blessing.
Give me your blessing.
Of course, of course.
And I will reach out and hand Berenike the apple. Do you take it?
Yes, but it was a gift to you, Nymphadora.
Have you read the description?
Yes, I blush.
And I need to mark a condition because I'm not honoring Aphrodite in this case. I'm honoring you. We're placing you above her.
But are you enticing me?
Yes, I think I am as well. My first roll tonight. And that's a 6.
I will spend a string that you have that I have on you, because we rolled enough 6s tonight. I'm counting that blush as my help for this entice.
Awesome. So yeah, on a 7 to 9, you you will gain a string on Berenike, unless Berenike decides to choose one of those reactions instead.
I mean, yeah, I kiss you.
And again, I freeze for that moment. And then I kiss you back.
Oh man, and I just turned down Rhode on the grounds that I can't do this.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stagger.
that
Since
sounds more than fair.
Since I have 0 to 3 conditions, I'm gonna grin and bear the blow and mark 2 more.
Certainly.
So hopeless and frightened.
Nice.
It's not me alone that seeks your blessing. And I'll turn back to Hephaestus. Do we have your blessing?
Oh, this is going to be bloody awkward at next at the next family dinner, I suppose. But well, when
Zeus
isn't
makes it awkward as it is, anyways.
Very well. Here, lass, give me that apple.
And I'll hand in the apple.
Yeah, he'll kind of, put the two halves together. He'll sort of very, very delicately, like almost imperceptibly, sort of lining up the kind of joints with each other, then reach over with his hammer and just whack the top of it. Okay. There we go. That should hold it together.
Thank you. And I'll hand it back to him. But she already has my apple. But I know someone who would appreciate this.
Well, if you're sure you don't mind parting with it, I'm sure she'd be most appreciative.
Give it to Mother. Give it to Aphrodite. She will honor you for it. And I'll lean in and whisper, but you may want to actually avoid Athena and Hera for a while.
Yeah, I'll try and get her to remain at least a little discreet about it. He'll grin.
Have you met my mother? Oh, actually, no. Sorry, I want to X-card me saying that, because me saying mother, that's implying other things. Have you met Aphrodite? Have you met Aphrodite? Discreet isn't in her playbook.
You're not wrong there, love. You're not wrong there. But
I have another gift for you. And I'll go over and pick up go over to Roxanne, pick her up by the elbow, and drag her over. Well, pull her over to Hephaestus. This is what you wanted, isn't it?
I mean, it's not quite what I had in mind, but he's a rather imposing figure, isn't he? And Hephaestus will say, look, it's probably best I don't be seen getting overly friendly with women or particularly attractive flowers. It might cause a bit of trouble.
Then teach her how to forge. And I'm gonna turn away from Roxanne, and I'm gonna wink at Rhode.
Rhode is keeping a very impassive, smile, still in Aphrodite mode, mask.
Cool. And I think we will take another quick break there. So if we come back in about 5 minutes' time, recording again. So yeah, I think we will get that moment where Roxanne is like, well, I can't say as I thought I'd be much good as a blacksmith, but I mean, working for one of the gods has got to come with some benefits, right? And I suppose I've always maybe I could do something in a jewelry line. She'll kind of give a sort of smile to Hephaestus and say, I suppose we could work out something like that. Yeah. And I think with that, the ground will start to tremble again, and another fissure will open up and say, "Are you sure the two of you don't want to come for a or come for a visit, or or are you still busy up here with your friends?"
I have things that I need to do here.
Well, do pop in whenever you're feeling, whenever you can pass by, and he'll nod to Berenike, and I suppose same for you too, lass.
I think I'm gonna lean in and give him a peck on the cheek.
Cool. And yeah, I think with that, unless anyone else has any last words for either Roxane or Hephaestus, they will head down into the fissure, which will begin to close back up above them.
When the fissure's closed, I'll turn to look at Rhode and Berenike. Did that just happen?
Oh, I know that Rhode is a master of disguise, and I haven't seen Catch around.
I'm sure Catch is still dealing with their spirit problem.
You channeled Aphrodite. And I'll walk up to Rhode and begin looking at her. How?
Well, it's
Was
easy
it-
when no one knows who you really are.
Who are you?
I just shrug. And I'm just looking at these condition moves right real quick. Yeah, so yeah, I just shrug, kind of give like a typical like Rhode kind of smile. And just go, come on. We need to meet the others. This distraction will only save us for a little bit. And just quickly turn face and walk away from the two of you.
And I'll pause for a moment. And I'll turn to Berenike. You should go after her.
I am where I belong, Nymphadora. I swear my spear to your service. You have served long enough. And I kneel before you again.
And I'll bend down and lift you up. You don't need to kneel before me. But I saw what happened in the vault.
Then yeah, I guess then I say like, then you know I am willing to compromise my virtue with you in a way that I am unwilling with Rhode. And I lean in to kiss you again.
And I back away slightly. I back away just the smallest amount. Does she love you?
I do not know. I think that Rhode in the end is Rhode and will pursue her pleasures where she wants. But what I seek is not mere pleasure, but love.
I did not see pleasure in that kiss. Well, I did see pleasure in that kiss, but I don't think it was the source of it. I adore you, but how do you feel? Sorry, I want to roll to actually figure you out.
Sure.
Because
that makes sense.
Because I can just ask stuff out loud, or I can actually roll the dice, and that's a 10. So on a 10, actually no, sorry, that's a 9 because I get -1 on figuring people out. Okay, so I get 2 questions, you get 1. What are your feelings towards Rhodes, or towards Rhode?
I think you definitely get the sense that I am attracted to Rhode, but that I think that Rhode can't understand the point of living up to like ideals and thus can't really understand me.
Okay. Well, that goes into my next question is, how could I get you to fall in love with Rhode?
I mean, I think
Yeah,
yeah.
I was going to say, you've got to remember what my devotion is, which is to bring lovers together.
Yeah, no, I know. I think I think you'd have to like show that Rhode cares about something beyond like pulling off a daring heist.
Okay. And your question back.
How can I get you to accept my love?
I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase this, but I already have.
Well,
but
okay, go ahead.
But I realize that in doing so, I would hurt Rhode, and I don't want to hurt her.
I think I put my hand to your cheek. It's as I said before, Nymphadora. Your destiny is not the gods, and neither is it mine. I love you, and if you feel that now is not the time, I'll accept your decision, and I'm willing to wait until I am willing to live with that. But know that but know that you have my love, Nymphadora.
She'll turn her She'll rest her cheek on your shoulder. Thank you. Can you hear those bells? Oh God! Oh God! We're still in a castle surrounded by soldiers.
Yeah, I think that's that point we like run off into the night.
Cool. So, Rhode, I want to check in with you. Where have you ended up, do you think?
Basically, I go and make sure Catch is still alive and well, and do ensure at ownership last minute all our final preparations for leaving post haste, and then I change into another outfit, and I don't look like m- anybody to be easily recognized as Road, and I book passage on another ship. To clear the condition, frightened, I am running away by leaving what I most want behind, and that is the crew.
Nice. Cool. And I think
Do we get an opportunity to try and find you and track you down for that one last scene, or?
Unfortunately, I don't think we would have the time
Okay.
to do that because I don't think it would be a very long scene, I think.
Okay. Fair enough.
yeah, no worries. Yeah, in which case I think that does sound like that feels very much like the end of the current arc sort of thing. But yeah, I definitely do want to give you all a moment to have some some um epilogue moments in the wake of all of this. So does I will ask first, does anyone have an immediate thought for a little epilogue scene they would like to frame out?
I go looking for Rhode and I don't manage to find her. I think there's it's a montage over several months in several different ports, and I hold up a sketch of her and ask if people have seen her, and they shake their head, and I look dejected, and then it's just that same scene about 3 or 4 different times with different people.
Awesome. And Berenike, what do we see from you sort of as a little epilogue?
I think we see like us parting that night as we're escaping from the guard. And I think as we're like going away into the night, I hear a breaking of branches as someone stirs behind me. And I raise my spear and fling around, and I shout, "Who goes there?" And then we hear a soft feminine voice say, "You may call me mother." And out steps Aphrodite. And I think that's like the kind of the season cliffhanger.
Yeah, awesome. I like it. Thank you very much. And yeah, Rhode. What do we see of Rhode in their epilogue?
It's kind of a montage also, like, but the first half seems to be like Road going back to their old ways before they had discovered the troop and everything. Being a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not caring as much about their own safety, health and safety as they go about it. But then like the second half of the montage kind of almost parallels Nymphadora's, where like Nymphadora is asking for like where Road is, like, and showing the sketch and everything. And it just so coincidence, or maybe it was the god's intervention, who knows, that one of those times happens to be in the same town that Rhode was, and decides to kind of follow behind Nymphadora, but always out of sight with a different face.
I really like the idea. At least one of the people that I actually ask is you in disguise.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you very much, everyone. I think, as I said, I think that's where we will call things to a close for this evening. So thank you very much. This has been a really good fun, both session and series as a whole. I've enjoyed it a whole lot. And yeah, thank you very much. I will stop our recording now.